How's it going, everybody? So in this video I wanted to give my opinion and my thoughts on Bart K, the nutrition watchdog, and specifically his recent debate on Ask Yourself's Discord, but also just my opinion on Bart K in general. Alright, so I've actually been following Bart K for probably about, I think, like 2 to 3 months now, something like that. Maybe 4 months. And I first found his channel from a comment on Vegan Gains' YouTube channel. Somebody said that, Vegan Gains should debate him about, the LDL and whatnot. Basically because Bart K is, supposedly a nutrition researcher or scientist. He was a senior scientist or a lecturer at a university and whatnot. Yada, yada, yada. So, me personally, the past like 4 months, I've been on a ketogenic diet. I started off with a carnivore diet strictly for about 1 month, and I've been experiencing amazing results ever since. In fact, I don't think I've ever felt any better before. And I was also a vegan for an entire year, and then I did a loose paleo diet and allowed white rice, jasmine rice as well, for quite some time. And I ate a large amount of plants, but also a large amount of animal protein for, about from 2015 to, the time I went keto last year. Anyway, I'm not biased. I'm not against vegans, and I'm not against carnivore or anything like that. Although I do have bones to pick with a lot of topics vegans bring up. But anyway, here's the thing. And by the way, I've been researching health, physiology, and nutrition science for the past 4 to 5 years. And I've reversed many diseases in myself, a lot of which were caused by whole grains and fiber. Anyway, Bart K. I agree overall with his opinion on LDL cholesterol. I agree with the majority of his beliefs in regards to heart disease and the mechanisms behind what's actually causing disease. And I know where he's going with it. I know what he's trying to get out there. Okay, so I agree with Bart. But my problem, the issue I have is, especially, so in a lot of his videos, he's using personal attacks, ad hominems, and cussing a lot, calling people. I mean, it's entertaining. I actually I enjoy it for its entertainment value. It's humor value, right? It's comedic value. It's funny calling people Charlie Brown, and I love his. I love hearing that because it's funny. But the problem I have is, especially in this conversation with these vegans, it's an authority thing. It sounds like an ego thing. I'm a senior scientist. Everything I say is valid. You need to provide research and evidence. I don't. Let's have a discussion about mechanism. I agree. Let's have a discussion about mechanism. And I can also I can ride that train of epidemiology is shit or whatever. It's valuable, but it can only prove causation. It can only prove correlation, not causation. It has nothing to do with causation of disease. And I think that many people rely too much on epidemiology, meta-analysis, which is just basically combining like thousands of studies and reviewing it without actually examining each individual study. People rely too much on that, and they don't look deep enough into mechanism. So I agree with that. But the fact is, Bart provided no evidence for his claims, and every time they would ask him to send some research, send some evidence, he would say, I'm a senior scientist, I don't need to provide evidence, give me your email, I'll email it to you later, I'll make a video about it. And he would start cussing at people and things like that. I feel like I honestly don't feel, I feel like there would be so much more benefit and it would be so much more productive. I feel like there'd be more value to the debate on both sides. Like, see, I'm a ketogenic dieter. I want to hear Bart expose the LDL issue. I want to hear Bart promote what I believe in, right? Like, that's a normal bias. It's a natural bias. I want to hear what he has to say. The problem is I can't get anything valuable out of the conversation because Bart is talking over the guy, the people he was debating with, but specifically that doctor he was talking to at the end of his debate or his discussion. He was talking over him. He was talking shit about him. He was not engaging. He was not interconnecting, right? He was just hostile unnecessarily. There was no progression. There was no direction that the debate was going in. It was not productive. I would have liked for Bart to provide his studies and his research, and then I'd like to hear the vegans try to, expose it, try to counteract it with whatever evidence they have, and then I'd like to hear Bart talk about why that evidence is wrong. But the thing is, the vegan doctor even sent a meta-analysis from, recent, he said. And Bart said, let's have some fun, I'll debunk your study. But instead of actually reading the study or attempting to explain why the meta-analysis was faulty, Bart just resorted to the same thing he was saying the entire time. Let's talk mechanism. Population data is bullshit. Like, I agree with you, Bart. Personally, I do. But debunk this guy. If because you're a senior scientist, you have all this experience, you're the big science guy, you say, but you haven't even attempted to debunk the science that they're giving you. You haven't presented your own scientific references. So, like, I'm a scientist that doesn't provide scientific research to back up my claims, and being so big on science, you yourself should have been able to at least come up off the top of your head with the names of certain studies or given them something tangible to look up. I mean, because I personally, just looking through, research myself, I found plenty of things that haven't been brought up previously in vegan debates, such as, for example, I guess you could consider this mechanistic data, but the difference between grass-fed beef and conventional raised beef, CLA, and its role in heart disease and prevention of heart disease and cancer. What else? Vitamin K2, which is actually, I was watching a study last night. I was reading a study last night that showed vitamin K2 actually reversed arterial calcification in rats that were pharmaceutically induced. They had pharmaceutically induced arterial calcification using a pharmaceutical drug. They actually reversed the arterial calcification with vitamin K2. And vitamin K2 is found most commonly in its most bioavailable and efficient form, the form that's most studied and actually was used in this study, in animal products. And you could have brought that up. That is mechanistic data, yes, but that is actually a hole to poke in the population data. The fact is, population data does not consider the fact that the more red meat people eat, the more processed foods they tend to eat as well. There are not controls specifically for how many French fries these red meat eaters eat, how many sodas they drink. The fact is, it just so happens that people in America, people in our Western society that eat red meat, they usually eat hamburgers with buns, with French fries, with sodas, or they eat hot dogs on a bun with French fries, with potato chips and alcohol at barbecues and things. Like, if you've ever lived with other Americans, you'll know you never see red meat eaters that eat ribeye with avocado, spinach, broccoli, and a side of green tea. That's something that I've been eating. That's a meal I've been eating for years now. And I feel my best, but I can tell you, when I was eating hamburgers, French fries, when I was eating the majority of the crap that the majority of standard American dieters eat, the majority of red meat eaters, which these population data is based on, When I was eating like them, I felt horrible, had the same exact health problems. I had pre-diabetes, I had hypertension, I had thyroid, I had actually a slightly elevated thyroid levels. I had a lot of problems. I had heart palpitations, I had insomnia, anxiety. I had all these problems when I ate the same way that all these Americans eat. But then years later, you catch me now, especially now I'm on a ketogenic diet, my insomnia resolved with no supplements, my mood is improved, my mental clarity is beyond imaginable words. Point is, there's a difference between red meat eaters that eat paleo versus red meat eaters that eat standard American diets. And even if you control for exercise and activity level and things like that, it's not the same as controlling for how much processed food and how processed junk you eat on the side of that red meat. And so that's a very simple thing that's, you know, it's something that we can all, it's common sense, and you can mention that when people talk about population data. And then, you know, so you can go from there. The problem with Bart is that, like, it's not his stance, it's the way that he argues and debates with people. It's the way that he presents his stance. I honestly feel like if Bart has all the experience that he says he has, and he actually is not lying, I'm not accusing him of lying, but I'm just saying, if he has this knowledge and experience, okay, he could change so many people's minds if he presented his information in a calm, civil, non-hostile manner. And he presented research, okay? Like, Bart feels like he doesn't have to present research. Bart feels like he's beyond all this. And that's fine, I guess. I mean, whatever. I just wish that he would present evidence. I wish that he was more relaxed and could control his prefrontal cortex. The fact is, when your emotional brain is turned on, the part of your brain that deals with executive functions such as decision making, logical thought, and critical thinking is turned off. And so when he starts getting angry, his own arguments are less tangible. Usually when someone is not right, when someone is wrong, they expose themselves, but you're never going to be able to allow that person to show that they're wrong if you can't maintain your balance and your calmness and ask some questions. You should back them up into a corner, ask some questions, and use logic instead of getting frustrated and calling them names. You know, go along with their requests and still debunk their asses. Debunk their asses by answering their questions. So yeah, I don't want to go on and on and on. I hope that everyone understands where I'm going with this. Like, I watch Bart K. I watch his channel. I have nothing against him. Again, like, I agree with what he's saying. I just would like for him to, you know, present research. I'd like for him to, you know, drop the ego, drop the appeal to authority that he constantly uses. I mean, come on, we all know that that's the epitome of dogma and the worst thing you can do. Stop talking about what science is over and over again and start to actually present some science. I really want to see all this data that he talks about. And people say something about his Patreon. Maybe I need to look on his Patreon. I don't know. But I guarantee you these vegans are not subscribing to your Patreon. And these are the people that are in direct competition with you and the ones that need to see the research the most. And I'm just saying, I feel like if Bart K presented more research, and I feel like if he was more calm and professional, then lots and lots of people would follow him. So, and he'd have more vegans turning over into a keto or carnivore style of eating, you know. So anyway, I'm gonna leave it at that. Let me know what you all think, and I'll talk to you all in the next video.